Hi guys, welcome to Learn Electronics Repair and car booty time. Yeah, more car booty. So this one came exactly like this. The front panel's missing. We have a Mitsubishi Chemical CDRW. Yeah, so this is like a branded one. I have a lot of these, so I don't generally keep them these days. I have so many of them, but branded ones I do tend to keep because there might be some interest. Somebody may drive a Mitsubishi and want a Mitsubishi CD-ROM, who knows, yeah. So, a good amount of rust on the back of this one, but not on the connectors. We see a graphics card, or something else, like a serial port type thing, and what looks like a sound card, but with a modem, so that maybe not a sound card at all. Interesting. It does say mic line in, line out. Yeah. And it has like a joystick port, and it also has like a phone line, so that is different. Yeah. There's no side on this, like so. So let's have a look to see what we actually have. Okay, so you can see, and I've just seen something. You haven't seen it yet, I'll show you. But Intel chipset, possibly an Intel motherboard, has the Coast slot, cache on a stick, but there isn't one fitted. I do have some of those modules though. A Pentium, yeah, what I call a Pentium 1, but it isn't really, because it was like a Pentium 0 before these, and they were quite a lot bigger, and I still don't know what they are called, and I still haven't found one. Okay, so we have the sound card modem, the graphics card. We have a lot of PCI slots, well, 4 PCI, 4 ISA, and look again, there was me saying that I thought white ISA slots was something really rare, and like in 2 videos, 2 come along. Yeah, so I take them wrong when white ISA slots are not rare at all. Yeah, comment. Okay, so let's get this motherboard out of this, and I'm going to take that Mitsubishi CD-ROM out, and then let's see what we've got, and yeah, see what you guys think. First, the motherboard. I have got the connector for me, the parallel port, by the way, a couple of serial ports here. This, interestingly, has like PS2 type keyboard connectors, although it's an AT motherboard. Usually have an AT keyboard connector, but hey, there you go. AT power. We have a problem with this board, so there's like a metal springy clip. You can see them on the other 3 of these DIMMs here, but this one is actually just missing altogether. I suspect, although I've never looked at these, you can probably remove and insert these. Maybe you have to warm it up a little bit. At the moment, it's holding in place okay with the other clip. There, okay, it seems okay. And this has a PC133 as well, so this is a crossover board basically between the 2 types of DIMMs. So you could use it anyway with the PC133, but you know, I do mention that. It has a model number, so P5VX-B, revision 1.2. Okay. This is the Coast module, cache on a stick. Is there some cache as well anyway? So some on board you can put more. I haven't looked, but I wouldn't be surprised. That's probably cache memory. Intel chipset. One of these Dallas things, obviously from Dallas, I guess, real-time clocks. I know these things, they drain and you can't get them anymore. I have seen various information on how to actually open those things up and connect some battery or something. I didn't really go into it, but I have seen that. Okay, obviously a Pentium, can be called a 1. Yeah. A little sticker, but it doesn't really say anything very interesting. Oh, it's a P133, so it tells us that. Okay, so Pentium 133. A bit of dust, but not in bad condition. So, as I mentioned, 4 ISA, 4 PCI. This one made a bit discoloured, but there you go. Okay. So that's what we actually have. That's the motherboard. This is the Mitsubishi Chemical CDRW. Danger. Invisible invisible laser radiation, February 1999, so you can see where this is from. This could have been added afterwards, to be quite honest. I wouldn't be surprised if that was added afterwards. Is that like the same Mitsubishi that like make Mitsubishi cars? I don't actually know that to be true. Okay, so we have that. This it looks like a serial port. This is about the most corroded thing on here, to be honest. I'm guessing that is a serial port. Okay. Some little assembly number, something or other. So we have that. We have this. Look. 3D Blaster Banshee. That's what I could see when I said, hey, I've spotted something here, guys. So, Voodoo Banshee, Creative, CT6760. Must be worth something there. I have to remember my Voodoo. So there was the Voodoo 2, which is the first one that I actually had, and I thought those things were absolutely just amazing, yeah. And in the retro days, in the last couple of years, if you watch my channel, you know I found one machine with a Voodoo 2 in. I've also had a machine with a Voodoo 3, which I have, and I also found, not in the machine, but for €1 or €2 at the car boot sale, a Voodoo 4 for 600 or something like that, which works, which I have here, but the fan is broken on it, but it does work. And now I have a Voodoo Banshee. I think that's the first time I've found one of these Banshees. I'm trying to remember if a Banshee was the same as a Voodoo 3, but I've got a feeling a Banshee was kind of like the cheaper version of a Voodoo. It's a long time ago, guys. Yeah, I mean, we're talking best part of 30 years, okay? But we have a Voodoo Banshee. And we have this thing. So, M-Wave. M-Wave. This is the modem. So look, modem and then mic line in and out, the joystick, I would say. So that's like a sound card, unless this isn't a joystick at all. It's something like an ISDN or some weird thing. I've not seen one of these before. Digital. Is that the serial number? 19. This is an early one, yeah. I have to say I don't really know exactly what that is. So we'll have to find out, yeah. So we have that as well. As always, this machine cost me €20 at the flea market car boot sale Sunday. Interestingly, actually, this Sunday, so I went out on the Saturday night. It was the switching on of the Christmas lights in a nearby town. I'm going to put that on my other channel, Grand Canary Uncovered. You can have a look. As soon as I get it edited, sometime this week it'll be on. And the following Sunday coming actually is a switching on the Christmas lights in the town I live. But anyway, I went out and I had a late night after that. So normally I go down to the car boot sale about 9 in the morning, have a bit of breakfast, then go have a look around. But I messaged Det, said, oh, I'm going to be there at 10 today. So I didn't go down there till 10, had a bit of breakfast. So it was 10:30, I mean, it opens at 8. And this was sitting there, so it's not like I'm going down at like the crack of dawn to find this stuff. It was just there, yeah, together with another machine. So yeah, you can find this stuff for €20. It's not so difficult from what I found, that's all I can say, yeah. Right, let's see if this works. And it has this mismatched strip of memory, but this is what was with it, so I'm kind of assuming that is okay. I'll get an AT power supply. Let's see what it does. Okay, I've put the PCI analyzer card in. I don't know if it'll work with the ISO as well on here, but we can see. So, known good AT power supply. Switcher on. Oh, and it bleeped. This didn't light up though. Yeah. But it's bleeping. So there was a live. Surprising that doesn't light up. Oh, it lights up in that slot. And then kind of went out. Right. Let's just reset that a few times, try again. C6, that must be a RAM problem, I'm guessing. Let's take all the RAM out and reset it again. Otherwise, I'll try PC133. I'm not sure if there's any jumpers you would have to change to do that, but hey. In fact, does it work with 2? Let's see. No. I'll take the RAM out. Do I get the same error? Yeah, so it is RAM. Yeah, I've reseated 2 of them and now it's saying graphics card. Try with the other 2 as well. This is the slightly questionable one. Doesn't seem to like that. Oh, it blipped. Let's just go again. Try again. I don't know if I've just got dirty PCI slots on this, because the analyzer card's a little bit iffy in here. Okay. Seems to be the case. Reseated them a few times and it seems to be a lot better. Okay. Apart from that one. Try this one. Okay. Let's put a graphics card in. So here is our Voodoo. I'll switch the monitor to VGA. Let's go again. Still says no graphics card. Right. Try another slot. Doesn't seem to like the graphics card. Does it give the same bleeps in that slot that doesn't seem to do anything with the analyzer? Yeah, but then it's saying it can't see. Let's just try a known good PCI graphics card. One blip. We have a picture, okay. So the motherboard's working. 24 gig of RAM, so it says. It says it's running at 100 megahertz, not 133. Does that work in that first slot, the one that didn't do anything on the analyzer? Okay, let's have a look. No, so the first PCI slot doesn't seem to work, or the last one, whichever way you want to think about it. Okay. I'll just try cleaning these. Let's see if they're corroded or something. Yeah, you can see it. So at this end, at the top, you can see some corrosion in there compared to the other ones, which look much better. I mean, this one's a little bit rough as well. But that first or last one did work with the graphics card. And then if we just come down here, yeah, again, there's some corrosion in that one. The other one seemed better. You probably all want to clean, but this one is the worst, and this is the one that isn't working. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that first pin, to be quite honest. Up there, yeah. This is plastic. A bit of ISO. Yeah. This is quite gentle on these, by the way, so it's not bad actually. I'm not trying to drag it sideways, I'm just pushing up and down with it. Best way to dry it is just to insert the cord a few times and then wipe the contacts and wipe the thing. Well, that looks better now. Yeah, we agree that looks better now. Much better. Okay. No, still doesn't see it. Nope. Yeah, that all working. Okay. So there's some problem with that first slot. I mean, the thing works, but just a problem with that first slot. This is something you could sell on eBay and honestly list it, say that slot doesn't work, or you could investigate to maybe see why it doesn't work. Looks like there might be a bit more corrosion around this. I thought there was some sort of sticky residue on the PCB down here, but in fact there isn't. It must have been a bit of an illusion. Another possibility is that one of the little resistors, you see them here, maybe something's broke off or similar. The same with this little row of capacitors down here, looks like they all go to the slots. But it looks like we have one row of those going to all the slots, not like just for this one, yeah. And the others are working. We have two of these resistor packs, but again, there's 4 slots, 2 of them. They may have like 4 resistors in each or something going to each one. I'd have to really look up the architecture of the PCI to see if I can find out why that one isn't working. How about it's Voodoo Banshee? Well, the connector looks clean. I don't think it's just something like a dirty connector. Okay. Probably some sort of voltage regulator, that one. We can check the fuse. Looks okay. Yeah, like a ferrite bead or something, that looks okay as well. See all the RAM chips here. 8 of them. Could of course be faulty RAM. Yeah, so I don't see anything obvious particularly, like something that's I can clearly see is broken off or something on this one. Let's try it again. Doesn't like it. I'll give it a clean, but I don't really think that's the problem. I was mulling over about this Banshee. It can't be like a Voodoo 3 because that's an AGP card. At least the one I have is, that's for sure. So I think this was like a cheapo Voodoo card. Right. Well, it certainly doesn't work anyway, so a bit unfortunate that, but yeah, you can hear it bleeping, yeah. Oh, interestingly now it doesn't bleep. And I have a picture on the screen. Look. I have a picture from the Banshee card. Yeah, and it hasn't crashed either when I let go because the thing's still flashing there, yeah. Oh, okay, so just not making a very good contact by the way, so it's in these PCI slots. But it does work. Just switch it off again. Power it up again. One blip. But no picture this time. So definitely bad contact on this. Again. Blue lights on this time. And it's working. Okay. So I would say that actually does work. It's just an iffy connection on it. It may be these PCI slots are not too good on this motherboard, unfortunately. Probably I should stick this thing into the sink and give it a real good clean. But it is basically functioning. So let's have a look to see if this Banshee's worth anything. And let's see if we can figure out what this thing is. It clearly is a SAM card because this is the connection from the CD-ROM. CD-ROM audio, it says. So it is a SAM card with a modem, and I've never ever seen one in my life. But does that mean it's actually worth anything? Let's have a look, but bear in mind this is very provisional because there are some issues with this. I don't know if the motherboard has this corrosion problem. The slots is sort of look all right now, but that first one just will not work. Unless it's something like with the BIOS, but I don't know. And the Voodoo Banshee, or the Creative 3D Blaster Banshee is, I think, is okay, but I'd have to try it in another board to be sure. I think it's more likely there's a problem with one thing or the other, and seeing as the motherboard seems to have some issues, I think the motherboard is the thing which is possibly the problem. But it is basically functioning. Let's have a look to see if it's worth anything. So that's the motherboard. And there's one there for sale at 84 and another one at 62, if it is the same board. It looks like it's the same. So those two. So let's have a look in the advanced section. So advanced, and then I need to choose sold items and search. Okay. No, so there's none actually sold. That's a similar motherboard. But it has 3 ISA, 4 PCI, BE, slightly different. So it's going to be worth somewhere between about £50 and about 70 or 80, depending if people actually want the other one, and it's a little bit iffy. But it's probably worth something like that, and I'll probably give this a good clean in the sink. How about this Creative 3D Blaster thing? So that's this one, CT6760 3D Blaster Banshee, okay? So again, for sale. CT6760. I don't see any. Let's go for 3D Blaster Banshee. Well, there's one there for sale for 110 for sale. One for sale at 161. One for sale at 195. Okay, and that's just a print. That's just a print of an ad. Yeah. And one for sale at 114. So that's what people think they are worth. Oh, this one's parts only. And you think it's worth 110. And that's a slightly different model. Mine is a 6760. That's a 6750. Mine is this model. So 161, that's a different model. 195, and that's a different model. So the only one that's actually the same as mine is that one. And they're asking 161, but are they going to get it? Well, let's see again in sold listings. So we go to advanced, sold items, search. Well, that's the 60, and that's sold for, let's face it, 100. Yeah, that's sold for 100. That's the 50. Is that the better one? Sold for 120, and that's the 60. And it's sold for 120. Okay, these are sold. Somebody even sells these prints. Another one that accepted some offer less than 92, 107. That is sold. And these are in November. Look, November 24, 24, October, that was a print. October, that sold. End of October, that sold. So they're all recent sold. November. It's got to be worth at least 100. Would you agree? 100 for that. 40 for the motherboard. Kind of working, and maybe just wants a good clean. The problem with the 3D Blaster Banshee is because in my collection I don't have one, but I have a Voodoo 2, a Voodoo 3, and a Voodoo 4. It's extremely likely that's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to go into my collection, I would think. But if I do decide to sell it, well, make me an offer. Yeah. M-Wave, let's look. M-Wave. What's this thing? Okay, so there are some similar ones, but without the modem. And they've sold for a bit less than £20. That one sold for 47. I had the disc with it. Okay. For sale, I can find one on the American eBay site. Last one sold, asking $50, but that says untested. I haven't tested this one, but I could. But again, that doesn't have the modem. Like, yeah, it doesn't have the modem. So, I don't know. Unless it does have the modem and the plastic cover is missing. Looks like a modem connector. I'd say this does have the modem and the plastic cover is missing. Okay, so I'd say it is that one. That is the one, 1992. Okay, voicemail. And the Mitsubishi CD rewriter, I can't find one either listed or sold. Okay, I can see similar, type of drives, about £20. It's a black one, that's a beige one by the looks of it, yeah, beige. So maybe gives you some idea, call it 20, I think. That's not a bad find then, really, for €20, not a bad find at all. Okay, so I don't know what you think, 40 or 50 if I can solve the problem with the PCI. 20, did we think? 100, maybe a bit more, but I'll just test it in another machine, but I'm pretty sure that's good. So let's say 100, 140, 160, and 20 for this. Maybe £180 worth. Yeah, okay. I'll call that €180. I know there's about €1.2 to the pound, but taking into account eBay commissions, if I do sell this on eBay, I just usually call it pounds the same as euros. So yeah, I think that's not a bad find. Guys, talk about it and let's look at something else. Okay guys, so here's the other machine. This has a black front, clips open. Okay, so black drives in here. You may think, well, this probably isn't a retro machine, but you think it's a beige case, so you think this is a retro machine. Yeah. It also has an add-on USB card, and that I think is another good indication. Plus, looks like a TV card. So I'm fairly confident this is actually an old machine. This has 4 USBs. It has a modem. So all the clues say retro. The 4 USBs probably tell me Pentium 4. Let's see what's actually inside this. Okay, so what do we have? Oh, so we kind of going from one end to the other of the spectrum in a way, because the other machine was probably one of the last type of machine before we had AGP, and this is probably one of the last machines that had AGP. So this is 775, in fact it says here GA-8 IPE775G. We've had these motherboards before. So socket 775 with AGP. At least one bad capacitor I can see there to start with. This has a hard drive in this one, TV card. This is the modem and a little graphics card. So because of the bad caps, I'm going to open this up anyway. Let's have a look what we need to do, and let's see if this works. Okay, so motherboard looks nice and clean, this one. We have one blown capacitor here. That is clearly bad. Yeah, you can see that one has gone. I have another one here. Again, it's failed. You can see that has failed. All the rest look okay actually on this one. They look fine. I have a fairly nondescript graphics card, I think. What is this thing? Oh, it's a Gigabyte 1GV 96. Yeah, this is probably like a Radeon 9600 type thing. Okay, 128 meg of RAM. I would assume that's what that is. A TV card that I absolutely finds no use for whatsoever these days. Bin. And a modem, which basically can go the same place unless you want the buzzer off it. They're useful. Okay, but other than that, bin. So let's get these capacitors changed on this one first. I'm also going to just try something here. So you know I really like this thing. Is it any good for unsoldering something like that buzzer? Let's find out. Power up, very fast. 350, okay. Here's the buzzer. Get a bit of fresh solder. In fact, we'll try this with the capacitors. I've never tried this to remove things like those capacitors. Electrolytics, okay. It worked well for this. Let's see. How about that, guys? Told you, game changer this thing, yeah. Let's try this with these electrolytics. So we have the small one here. There and there. Again, just a bit of solder. I would add solder anyway when I do it with my normal soldering iron. So this is just the same, bit of solder. Now, it looks like these struggle to actually get enough heating onto this. Bear in mind at the moment I only have it connected to a 65 watt power supply. I'm still waiting for my 140 watt one to arrive. So it may struggle with this, but let's see. Yeah, that's a bit too much for us at the moment. We'll try this again when we have the higher rated power supply. It is coming out, but it wasn't so easy. So this is a 1000 microfarad 6.3 volts, and the other one here is a 3300 6.3. Go on, let's try it. Add some solder. Okay. Fell out. Hey, that's pretty good, that. I'm very interested to see how much higher powered we will get. And notice it's on 400 right now. If we connect it to the new power supply when it comes. I've replaced the capacitors. Nice new ones there and there. Let's connect this up with the analyzer card, power supply. Oh, but first of all, let's check for any shorts on the 12 volts. Of course, I should have done this before I changed the capacitors, but hey, I didn't, so what can I say? The next best time is now. Yeah. Well, there ain't any shorts on it. Obviously, one side is ground anyway. No shorts though, so that's good. Okay, there it is, ready to go. There's no graphics card in at the moment, but we have the analyzer. Let's see what it does. And it's booting. Yeah. And in fact, it says no graphics card. So let's put this one in that came with it. This has a DVI connection, so I'll try attach this to the capture card, which we can see there. What does it do now? Oh, okay. Doesn't seem to like the graphics card. Just a bit of a waggle again. It's thinking about it, but no bleeps, nothing. Again. Okay, so it doesn't seem to like that graphics card. Let me try a known good one. Okay, it's in there. No, it doesn't start. A dodgy, yeah, dodgy button, that's all. Yeah, it likes that one. And we have a picture we can see there. Okay, 3.2 gig Pentium 4. So processor's worth about 10 or 20 pounds. If it was a 3.4 gig, we're talking 100 or something like that. Yeah, and that's on sold listings, by the way. So people, yes, they do pay that for these. There are collectors. Let's just try the graphics card that came with it again. No, it's stuck on 2B, so that's like some sort of problem with the graphics, and then it switched itself off. Switched itself back on. 2B. Oh, this time it's got it, and then it switched itself off. So he's not happy with that in there. Back on again. Unless he's just setting something up in the BIOS. Yeah, maybe it is actually just doing something there. Yeah, we have a picture. So the BIOS obviously wanted to restart a couple of times, and now it sees that. Okay. Let's try the hard drive that came with this, see if there is an operating system on there. One blip. Picture. Yeah, single memory RAM, because I only have one strip in, that came with it. It saw the hard drive is there, okay. So I think it's asking to go to the BIOS or maybe just to boot, let's see. Windows XP. Doesn't appear to want to boot from it though, although the computer is still running. Okay. I don't hear the drive really, just occasional click. Try that again, I'll just power it off. In fact, we'll do it from the start button. Which one of the wires has fell off, that was the problem, okay. We'll use a screwdriver or something. Okay, off. Back on again. So the machine's booting again, okay, just doesn't seem to like the contents of this hard drive very much. Windows XP. Yeah, and it sort of just blanks out and doesn't come. Oh, it does come back this time. Okay, so there we have it, Everest Ultimate Edition. What on earth is that? Your registration is corrupted, that's what that is. And we have a Europa Universe. I wonder what that is. Well, that's a black screen. Okay, so yeah, machine's working. I know I've had these motherboards exactly the same ones before. I seem to recall this only takes a Pentium 4. It doesn't take a Core 2, which will limit its value somewhat. But I think they were worth 40 or 50 pounds or euros. Let's have a look. So I'm once again in the sold listings on eBay. That's the actual model number of the card. The only one that came up was this, Radeon 9600, 128 meg, which is like my known good one I use. This has both VGA and DVI. Mine has DVI in the funny little round, which says S video. Okay, so it's not the same. I'm a bit surprised it's worth that much actually. Let's just look for Radeon 9600 and let's have a look that way. Something a little bit more generic. Well, it tells us they're worth about that sort of amount. Okay, look, they're there, sold. So yeah, they really are selling for that price. Okay. That's a 256 meg, that's a 128 meg. Okay, guys, well, there we are. So that's the sort of price they sell for, AGP. The motherboard, I'm interested to see what CPU this actually supports. So, I know we've looked at them before. I'm pretty sure this is Pentium 4 only, really. So, Celeron, no. Celeron D, yes. But the dual core, no. So it doesn't support them. Pentium 4, yes. Pentium D, some of them, well, just a couple there. By the looks of it, the dual cores, no. So Pentium Extreme, just that one. So yeah, I think this is like £40 or so. Let's have a look. Well, one sold and it was at 57, but somebody made an offer, and that's with the same processor I have. Let's say 50. I think that's fair enough. Okay, so with a graphics card, that's about 85. That's not bad at all. That first machine was very nice, I thought. Voodoo 3D Banshee, eh? Yeah, that was a bit of a score. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Look at some more glorious beige beauties, actually, yeah. Some more car beauty, and I will see you all soon, hopefully next week. Ciao for now, guys.